New Media. Fight the fires, Valhalla, for Stone Cold Loki. Special guest, Saggy Melonz. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Comic Book Roundtable. Good evening, greetings, Valhalla, and welcome to the Comic Book Roundtable. I am your host, Stone Loki. With me, of course, are my co-hosts tonight and our special guest. Let's introduce our special guest first. She is the fire of each and every evening when she goes live. She does not hold back. She does not mince words, and she will straight up fuck your shit up. She is the one and only Saggy Melonz. Welcome, Saggy, to the Comic Book Roundtable.
Thank you for having me. This is going to be fun.
I hope so. We've got the Clobberin man himself. Ladies and gentlemen, I heard that he used to own a comic book store at one point in time. He is the one and only Clobberin Times. How are you doing, brother?
Hey, buddy. Good to see you. Good to see you. Great to be here. Great to meet Saggy for the first time. It's lovely to see you, my dear. And hello, my friends in the chat. Let's get going, man. Look at all those great people out there.
Heck yeah. And talking about great people, we have got 24/7 Fusion Media here sitting next to Clobberin Time. How are you doing, brother? What is going on?
Blow that shit up, man. I'm just shit, I'm good, man. I'm blessed, man. I'm just thankful to be around, all these great people, man. And man, you guys are awesome, every last one of y'all. And it's cool as fuck to finally meet Saggy. So hell, I'm having a great day. What can I say?
Heck yeah, and we have some great people in chat. Right up bat, Chris Persia says Saggy is a bona fide spitfire. There you go, Chris Persia. Keely Chow, what is going on? The great Keely Chow, roll tide, brother, roll tide. Jason Fox from 540 Studios says, hell, Loki and panel. Good to see you. Good to see you. Jason Fox, how are you doing? Pat S is here, of course, and says 24/7 all day.
All day.
Yeah, appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Yeah, we got June Wong. We've got I already said Pat S. Holy shit. Keely Chow. I already said Keely Chow. Psychodorp 9. I'm sorry. I said it wrong. Psychodorp 9. How are you doing, brother? It's good to see everybody here. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight on the Comic Book Roundtable. Let's get shit going. We were talking about what's going on with the Snyder bots. Saggy, did you ever hear about that stream where the Snyder bot showed up and said that Cavill was coming back? Snyder had already been rehired and already had a contract.
Yeah, it was not long ago.
We just weren't in the know.
Yeah,
we weren't in the know. This is about a month ago, and Clobby was delusional for not believing him.
Yeah, he didn't. He was put me in my place.
He tried to put him in his place because he knew that Henry Cavill had already signed. It was a done deal. The script was already written. The movie was already being made. We were getting Man of Steel 2, directed by Zack Snyder.
It wasn't just that, Loki.
Oh, yeah, we were getting...
Remember, he said he was guaranteed that I would like it, even though he knows how much I hate Snyder garbage.
You're going to like it.
He said, I understand you don't like those, and I understand you don't like the other ones, like Man of Steel and the other ones, but you will love this one. It's a guarantee. So that was very nice of him, I thought.
Well, the funny thing about that is that a lot of these Snyder people don't understand, or they just don't care to understand, is that Henry Cavill was out after Justice League. Okay, they had no intention on him coming back. That was obvious because number one, The Rock kind of spilled the beans when he was pushing the cameo thing, saying, "Guys, I asked them for 6 years, guys, and they kept telling me no," because the Flash movie was being made and they already had planned on a reboot, which did not include Henry Cavill's Superman. So, no, that's factually untrue. And I would love to know what the number of this person's drug dealer is so I can get a call. Some of that weed that they're on, because that must be some good ass drugs if that's the delusion that they said to you guys. I don't know.
Oh yeah, we were all what did he say, Clubby? That we would rue the day we did not listen to him in his comments.
Right. This guy was actually one of the weirdest Snyder bots, and I've been fighting him since 2011, 2 years before it did 13 when the actual garbage movie came out. And I've been after me for a long time. I've had some big time fights with him because all I have to do is disagree with him. And I'm talking about Snyder bots, not nice people who happen to like the movies. There's a difference. But this guy was different because he was trying to be nice. He'd say stuff like, "Oh no, I understand that you didn't like the other one, and that's cool. But this one, I guarantee you, it's gonna get made, and you are going to love it." It was like trying to talk me into it, not like in their usual obnoxious way. It was kind of weird.
Yeah, trying to kill you with kindness. Huh?
Where is he now?
Yeah, he's trying to kill you with kindness.
It was strange, man.
And Psychodorp 9 chimes in with $10 super chat and says, "Howdy, y'all. Soon to be 58-year-old body parts and a centimeter. Kidney stones don't like construction sites. However, the owner of the company is considering hiring me for fleet maintenance. Congratulations. I know you don't have it yet. I'm sure someone out there is going, oh my God, Loki, don't congratulate the man before he's got the job."
Yes, good luck.
That's like saying, don't break a leg or some shit when you go out on stage. But I hope you get it, brother. I hope everything works out. I know how much you've been working on this. So congratulations and thank you so very much for the $10 super chat, brother.
Hell yeah.
I think there's like so much when it comes to this Snyder stuff in DC that like people just are so like out of body or something, because the whole thing with Zack Snyder, the only reason why that cut happened was the unfortunate, very rare situation that happened with Zack, where Zack had to leave production because he had lost a child. And because of that, he couldn't finish the movie. And I always like bring this point up to fans of like this whole thing. It's like, think about it. Now, if Zack didn't lose a child and he was able to finish the movie uninterrupted with what had happened tragically to him, do you honestly think that at the time WB would have wanted that 4-hour movie? Because everyone was talking about, they didn't want Zack to make a 4-hour movie. They wanted that movie to only be at most 2 hours. And a lot of the stuff that we saw in the Snyder Cut probably wouldn't have made the final cut if it had not been for what had unfortunately happened to Zack. And the only reason why the fans really got what they wanted, I would say like part of it was the campaigning. Sure, we can say that. But overall, it was a situation where the studios were like, we don't want to look like the assholes here who didn't want this man to come back and finish a project because he had to leave because of what tragically happened in his personal life. It was an optics thing too. They didn't want it to look bad. So they're like, yeah, we might as well just let him finish it. And then we're moving on. It was very simple.
And can I ask a really
Goof had a little bit to do with it as well. But
can I ask a really weird question? Why is DC always going after Marvel's leftovers?
Because it's worked for Marvel. Because Marvel's made money. Because you have to remember Marvel's story, right? When Marvel Studios wasn't a thing if it wasn't for them selling their IPs. They had to sell Spider-Man, X-Men, Fantastic Four for money because they were bankrupt. So they had like a story of like the underdog, like the person who fell and had to rise from the ashes, like a Phoenix story, right? So Marvel made that work. They took a lot of the characters, not even their top performing characters, they're well-known characters. They started with Iron Man, which even though Iron Man is a known character for comic book fans, for the record, but like for general audience, they didn't know who Iron Man really was. So when they started with their not A-list superheroes and they made it work, DC's looking like, dang, we've always owned our IPs and we've never had this struggle. And look at Marvel coming out of nowhere, and now we got competition. Now we legit have competition. So how do we make that kind of money and compete with Marvel? That's basically why. And they're looking at what Marvel's doing. They want to emulate that.
And they forgot one important ingredient. You can take any character, and if the movie's good enough and the star in the role is good enough, you could catch lightning in a bottle the way they did with RDJ. He was a backbencher. Iron Man was. Now he's a household name because of they caught lightning in a bottle. They got lucky. Very lucky.
I absolutely agree with that. Michelle O'Rourke Johansson says, Loki, we lost my father 2 days ago. I'm very sorry to hear that. I lost mine back in February of 2020, right before the coup fit everything. To a heart attack right now. I can't be with my family. We will be going home in June. Will you allow me a skull for my father? Please. Absolutely. This is for you, Michelle O'Rourke Johansson. You guys keep the fires burning bright here in Valhalla. Skull!
Spartans! What is your profession?
Damn straight. Badass says if they cast Robert D as Superman, then their Marvel copycatting will be complete. Why would you want him as Superman?
I guess he's just kidding. But
no.
They look throughout the course of comic book history, both companies have copied each other many times over and over. But it was Marvel see Marvel do, and sometimes it was DC see DC do. It's just the way it is.
That's true.
And so in this case, it's movies, but it's been going on for 80 years.
Yeah.
Actually, more like 60-ish because Marvel, they did sort of exist before. Never mind. Let's go with 80.
Right. But that's basically what it is. It's a competition because you have to remember, like, DC, when it came to superhero movies, like, even their TV shows, aside from the animated stuff, like, DC was like the big dog. Like, they were the biggest superhero story movie tellers out there. And then here comes Marvel. Now they finally had competition. And they weren't ready. They weren't ready for it. So, I mean, I get why they would want to take some pages from Marvel's book because it makes some money.
Well, you had the thing with Joss Whedon coming in to do remake Justice League. So from he was doing the Avengers stuff from Marvel in the beginning, and then you've got James Gunn coming in now. It just seems really weird that it's like, and there's other people. One of the producers for the Warner Brothers DC movies used to work at Marvel. It just seems like, well, we're happy taking their leftovers after they're done working with Marvel. And I don't know. I'd want to forge my own path, forge my own destiny. Why do you want to live on someone else's leftovers?
Well, I mean, think about it, Loki, right? So say you see me having people on my platform getting me a ton of clicks and stuff. You'd be like, dang, I need to get on that level, right? Like, if this chick's got like 10,000 people watching her live, like, what's going on? If she's got this person, you would want that. You would be like, well, how do I do that? I need my version of that. So it's like with DC, they wanted their own Kevin Feige, right? They need their own Kevin Feige. So who better than James Gunn right now? Because James Gunn already, like, they saw what James Gunn did for the Guardians of the Galaxy. They saw what he did with James Gunn. Has a habit of taking lesser known IP characters and making them hits. Like, I thought Peacemaker was going to be, I didn't care about Peacemaker. I thought Peacemaker was a stupid character. I didn't want to see the show. Peacemaker comes out, and I was surprised at how many people love Peacemaker. And I'm like, why would you not want James Gunn to do for Marvel what he can do for DC?
No, and you absolutely correct. You've got a point. I don't know. I just think they've done their own thing for so long, and it wasn't a matter of copying. Marvel didn't come out and try and copy what they did with Superman or Batman. They did their own thing. They did, Fox did X-Men. Paramount was doing the Paramount did Iron Man. It wasn't even Disney back then. Paramount and Marvel Studios did Iron Man.
Right.
So
but they have competition now. That's what it is. Look.
That's true. They've got competition, and DC absolutely failed at what it was trying to do. Warner Brothers in a nutshell failed DC, and DC failed Warner Brothers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. Because they were trying to do they're like, oh crap. And I mean, I get it from a business perspective. It makes sense that you'd want to see what works. Kind of like I said, it's like DC and Marvel are like YouTube content creators. You see what works, you see what hits the algorithm, and you try to get on that algorithm path. That's what DC is doing now. Is they're trying to get on that level that Marvel's at, and they've been trying to do it and failing. So I think having Gunn there to kind of be like, well, how did it work over at Marvel? Like, you got that inside man now, right? Like, how did it go over at Marvel for you? Like, what was their strategy?
Well, the thing is, James Gunn was supposed to be Phase 4. So that's the thing is, the architect for Phase 4 left and went to the other side. The thing between Marvel and DC, even for since the beginning of Marvel. Because DC, well, I mean, they were both around at the same time, called different companies or whatever. The thing is, the creatives would always go back and forth. So, of course, give an example, Clobberin Times' good friend Jack Kirby was at DC, then he went to Marvel. And the thing is, you got the creatives were competing against their own
Marvel in DC, actually, but yeah.
Right. Well, yeah, exactly. But it's like you have the creatives basically going against their own best projects that they created on the other side of the fence. So he creates something in Marvel, then go to DC and create something as equally as powerful, and you got and it's in competition within its with itself.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing with the movie. Like, you have James Gunn going to DC. I bet I wouldn't be surprised if Marvel just hires a well-renowned director or somebody that did a badass DC movie. Like, let's say if Nolan for Batman ends up doing a Marvel movie. It's the same as James Gunn going over to Warner Brothers.
See, though, there's a difference with James Gunn that people are also not mentioning, right? Is that James Gunn has to build off of the previous setup for DC, right? Because The Flash was greenlit before James Gunn, Blue Beetle was greenlit before James Gunn, Aquaman 2 was greenlit before James Gunn, and Shazam 2 was greenlit before James Gunn. Right? So these are all movies that were in production, greenlit, scripts written, in production, finished before James Gunn officially took that position. Now, I feel like obviously they talked about to James Gunn. I don't know exactly when they offered him this gig with Peter Safran, but James Gunn has probably had so many meetings trying to just figure out where he can start. Because again, once the Flash movie comes out, which again, the movie that was made before James Gunn, he has to build off of that now. He has to build off of whatever Andy Muschietti was basically what his plan was, or what the former, because Walter Hamada hired Andy Muschietti to do the Flash movie. So whatever the plan was, James Gunn has to build off that. So that's going to be probably the biggest challenge for James Gunn. Not even I don't have a doubt in my mind that whatever he can do with the slate he put out there, that he's going to work magic with those properties. My thing is, how is it going to fit into this Flashpoint? Like, how is it going to move forward? Because again, you have movies coming out after the Flash. Aquaman 2 comes out after the Flash. Yeah. How are they going to incorporate that with the Flashpoint story moving forward? Because I don't know if Jason Momoa is still in. Like, we don't know if Jason Momoa is continuing as Aquaman. So this is going to be James Gunn's biggest hurdle to get over. And what fans are really curious to see is how it's going to move forward. Sorry, I go into winded rants. I'm so sorry.
No, that's why you're here. Don't apologize for that.
Yeah.
There ain't going to be anybody to tell you, oh, quit screaming. Why are you screaming, Saggy? No, by all means, go off. Have a field day.
Okay.
That's
sometimes
why we do the comic
off
book roundtable.
Yeah, sometimes I go off and people want to talk, and I'm like, blah, 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 blah.
No, the whole concept of this show is all about that lunchroom talk. When you be sitting in a lunchroom, sharing comics, arguing about stuff, raising your voice, whatever you were doing when you were a kid, even if you didn't do that while you were a kid and you did it more as an adult, sitting in a comic shop, arguing about something, talking about characters. That's why we're here.
Hell yeah.
Oh, you're in the right place to
exactly.
to carry on, get angry, yell, scream, burn shit down. We burn down the show ourselves sometimes.
Nah, we never yelled anything. What are you talking about?
No, trust me, because I be getting angry at these topics though, because it's the fans right now, and it's mostly the Snyder fans that tick me off the most.
Yeah, I've been there with them. I got the T-shirt.
Yeah, because like they just don't understand, and it's like they don't care about Zack. Let's be real, like they don't, because if they were caring about what Zack Snyder was doing and they cared about him as a creator, they would be supporting all the shit that he's doing now. He's doing Rebel Moon. He's got 2 movies coming out on Netflix, right? And both of I think the first one's finished. So where's the hype for Rebel Moon? Oh, it's not about that. It's about their whole thing with DC. And I don't even think at this point it's even about DC or Justice League. I think it's a lot about just the grifting. It's really just about the grifting.
I think a lot of them, they unfortunately love his vision of the DCEU. And they're married to that. They want to see the hyper-violent Superman punching things and being mopey and all the dark crap. They love.
But we've seen
his terror. But see, they love his terrible take, and they want to see that on the screen.
But here's the thing,
you're right.
I don't think it's a terrible take, right? Clobberin Times. I don't think it's really a terrible take. Like I don't mind a dark, edgy superhero story, right? Like people love The Watchmen, they love The Boys, and those are all very dark, edgy superhero tales. Right. I'm not even worried about that, but it's like I do want to go back to like Superman being Superman, like you said, not the mopey thing. Like I don't mind it once in a while because I love the Injustice story arc. I loved it. I loved Superman being all dark and evil and being like the big bad guy. That was an interesting take on Superman. And I loved it. But yeah, there needs to be some kind of balance where we can go back to a more justice fighting crime Superman.
Thing I'm talking about. So even though I hate that Injustice stuff and I hate the evil take on Superman, and even though here's the thing.
Sorry.
Here's the thing about that. The thing about that is I'm fine with those types of stories existing. Don't get me wrong. But in other formats, like in Elseworlds formats, different things like that, it's fine. On the big screen, you should never make a movie ostensibly involving Superman, because they didn't use his name, remember, that you cannot take an 8-year-old to see. It's fundamentally wrong. These characters were designed and created for, let's face it, children, and specifically young boys, but girls too. And that's what these characters were all created for. And you could take before this, most of the Superman movies that have been made and things like that, you could let a young child watch and they could be inspired by them, which they're supposed to be by Superman. The DC universe is not supposed to be the playground for demented, rotted minds who just want to tell their own perverted shortcomings and into their so-called stories.
Right, but the thing is with that is that Superman, like these characters, they're old, right? So you all grew up with Superman, right? But you're all older now. So some adults want a bit more of an edgy storyline because they're adults now. Like, yeah, you want the storylines where you could take your kids to enjoy Superman, sure. But like, that's what I mean about the balance. I still am all for them doing more adult story arcs for the superheroes. Because again, we're all adults now. Superman's a great character, but like, yeah, as adults, some adults enjoy the more edgier stuff because they're grown. They don't want the campy child stuff. But yes, I mean, the ones who want to still take their kids to see Superman, that's what I'm saying. They need a balance. So we got the ones we can take our kids to see. Then we got the ones that maybe you won't want to take your kids to see. Maybe you want to take the wife or your significant
Superman's
other.
Not meant for that. No, Superman's not meant for that.
But that's what I'm saying. But like, why? Why is Superman not meant for that? Superman is an alien who came to Earth, and to be a human, he has to be a human. What are humans? Flawed. What are humans? Emotional. What if humans? They don't make the most sound decisions. So it's more like they just try to make story arcs where you can relate more to Superman as a person rather than a superhero.
In comics, I don't care. In movie theaters, it needs to be different. It needs more for a more general audience. And his creators didn't mean him for that. You can read countless interviews with them and what comics were like at the time. They were a dark edge, some of those Golden Age comics. Superman's not meant for that. And many of the other great writers over the time who've written a character understood that you can have a Superman in a dark story, but you don't darken Superman. And that is the key. Now, again, the evil Superman trope, which is moronic and asinine to me, is fine in other medium. I don't think it needs to be on the big screen calling him Superman. For example, not a big fan of The Boys, but fine. You can deal with it in other archetypal venues like The Boys, The Authority, which for some reason James Gunn thinks needs to be made. Other things that deal with the quote-unquote the evil Superman character, the archetype turning bad. It's all fine to explore that stuff. But in a major property like Superman, you just don't do that. And it's borne out because those movies they underperform when you don't characterize Superman as the hopeful character that he is supposed to be. When you mischaracterize him like Zack Snyder has done and others, that's what you get, underperforming. Whereas opposed to if you do it right, like Richard Donner, you get a worldwide phenomenon.
Even Donner, though, especially in the Donner cut of Superman 2, Donner has him arguing with Jor-El, saying, no, I want something for myself. And he tells him, he's like, you're going to give up everything you are. You're going to give up hope for mankind. You're going to give up your powers. You're going to give up your Kryptonian heritage to be with one person.
You're not seriously arguing, as dumb as that is, that it's equated to letting his father die in a cartoon tornado.
No, oh hell no, not at all. I'm just saying that even Donner had to have a human take. He was selfish. Clark was selfish in Superman 2 in the Donner cut.
Yeah,
and even in the other one. But it goes more when he's talking to Marlon Brando. When he's talking to Jor-El, it goes more into it. That
he almost has an argument. That movie.
I know you don't.
That movie.
I know you don't. And he does it. He does it anyway. He's like, you're going to take hope away from the people because you want to be with one person. And he does it. He does it. And then Zod does what he does. And he winds up seeing it after he gets his ass kicked by the trucker and realizes I've screwed up. And he goes back and he begs Jor-El to forgive him. And wow, luckily there's one crystal left that will undo what it did. And he's able to fight Zod.
I think you just made my point for me.
But even then, there's still that humanity there. There has to be that humanity. I think that's what Saggy's saying is that humanity of what makes Clark Kent is always there. Even with Superman, there's times where he has questioned his mission. He's questioned himself. And showing that on film, I think, is absolutely fine. He can't be Mr. Perfect.
No one ever said. I don't know. Where do you think I say that he did? That he needed to be? I mean, I don't get it.
Well, Ironcaster there says he should be ideal that people can look up to, and it's like, but that's the thing.
Yes, that's true. He is
like but here's the thing: your kids look up to you as fathers. You are not perfect, but to your children, you are their hero. But you are flawed. You will make mistakes. You will sometimes disappoint your children, but you will earn that. You will earn that back because you are their heroes. So when you think of it like that, it's fine to have a character, but it's a fictional character. But that's why they try to make it more realistic. Like I said, your children look to you as their heroes. They idolize you. So why can't Superman have that same luxury where we can have a Superman who has to grow and develop and have struggles like everyone else? Because again, that is him being a human, right? He's not a human. He's an alien, but he was raised on Earth. So he is being made to be a little bit more empathetic, where you can look at Superman and be like, wow, that's a human being who happens to have powers. Cool. I can empathize with that. That's why it's like in the comic books, and you said so too. It worked in the comic books, and a lot of fans love those edgy versions of Superman because it was different.
Well, it does. I mean, if your only argument is to reach those means, you have to do it the way Zack Snyder wants to do it. Then I would say you're fundamentally flawed right there. Because yes, Yes, Superman will make Superman is not perfect. That's the misconception. What you're going down that road is you're saying, well, unless we darken him and make him like Hack Snyder does, make him mopey, make him hate his powers, make him basically a conspiracy nut like Paul Costner in the movie, make him a total tool that unlikable, that is not a hopeful character, then somehow it's the other way. It's right. Unless you do that, no one's going to relate to him or love him. Well, the hard evidence does not back that up, because not everybody, a lot of people who see those movies, and they did underperform the Hack Snyder movies, see those and goes, well, that's not Superman. He's just kind of a mopey dude. He's not really particularly heroic. He's not selfless. Superman is someone who holds himself to a higher standard. He's not super because of his powers. Hack Snyder thinks he's super because his powers, and he can punch people into buildings and stuff. No, it's because it's how he uses the powers and how he holds himself to another standard. Now, Superman, you work the flaws in by making him more human. He was raised by two extraordinary human beings. Superman is not just a set of powers or a name. Superman is a set of values. Using those powers. He's a story about responsibly using those powers for good and being selfless. Now, he'll make mistakes. You can write stories where you trip him up, and that's all fine and good. You seem to all be under the impression that I think you should never have any obstacles for Superman. That's not true. It's not even close.
No, I wasn't saying that,
particularly
Clobby.
right. It's not particularly. It just hasn't really been done well in movies, and Hack Snyder has no handle on it whatsoever. Because Hack Snyder, and his buddy David Goyer in the Terrio Guide, they projected their own idiotic, their own psyche into Superman, and saying, instead of making him a character to aspire to be, let us drag him down into the sewer with our own problems, and let's make him just like us. And he's just another guy punching things, but he happens to have superpowers, and that's that. Superman does not live up to the ideals.
But the thing with Zack Snyder's Superman, though, is you do realize that Zack Snyder's Superman was a noob, right? Like he wasn't Superman for a long duration of time. So this was like an orange. He had to grow. So I mean, it does matter because
doesn't matter one bit.
It does matter. Look at Smallville.
No.
Look at Smallville.
Terrible show.
How many?
I love that.
Wait, you thought it was a terrible show? That show is great.
I okay, that is where I will agree with Saggy. I love Smallville.
What do you mean?
Absolutely. Me and Eris
CW.
just got to season 10, and she just saw the episode where he goes into the future and meets his future self, who is Superman, who wears the suit and the cape and goes off to save a nuclear reactor, while young Clark saves Lois. And she's like, this is perfect. Lois is in the suit. She's loving. She's caring. She's like, we got to protect that secret. Put your glasses on, idiot. And he's like, what the hell is going on? No, I thought that was absolutely perfect. I will defend.
And they brought back freaking Christopher Reeves.
Yes.
Well, that's another character.
But I'm saying that they did. That's Smallville went on for
not
a
just
long
that,
time because it was
not
a good
just
show.
that. The president that is in Superman 2, the Richard Donner cut, and the whatever French guy, I can never remember his name, and that cut. The president, he is Clark's grandfather. He is Martha's dad in Smallville. Martha, obviously, Annette O'Toole from Superman 3. They have a huge alumni cast from the movies that come in and play characters that show.
Yeah. I mean, I'm mostly busting.
Very respectful.
I'm mostly just picking on Loki because I know he's been watching, and I really it's not my bag.
I've been bragging about it.
But yeah, I'm mostly just messing with Loki.
I've been bragging about it lately.
Yeah, I mean, to each their own with Smallville, but I mean, the Smallville was, I mean, regardless if you liked it or not, Smallville ran for a long freaking time. To be honest, it ran too long. They should have ended Smallville a little sooner than later, in my opinion. But hey, whatever. But that's the thing about Smallville that made people really interested, because you got to see a more in-depth, more humane side of Superman that fans didn't get to see before, because like you said, like everyone's saying, oh, you have to have Superman be this. Well, what if he was just a person who happened to have superpowers? How would you feel about that? Oh, well, that's a different kind of struggle that I can relate to, even though I don't have laser beam eyes, but I can still understand how awkward it is to be different in a human world. So, I mean, I get it, but it's I agree with you, though. One thing that I do agree that it would be nice to, again, get back to that balance where before we had that Superman you were talking about, then Zack Snyder made it dark, and now everyone makes it seem like that's the new norm. Like, that's not the new norm. So, when everyone's like, "Oh, hack Snyder's," like Zack was asked to do a job. They knew he told them what he was going to do with it. And they said, "Yeah, we were okay with that. We're going to greenlight that." So they did it. But that doesn't mean that that's the only that they're moving forward. That's what's going to be Superman now. This emo thing. I guarantee you, James Gunn's going to make a Superman that's going to be right back to basics. Right back to basics.
Absolutely. Look, I blame Nolan. I mean, he's the one that hired the clown. And by the way, even much as I have a lot of problems with Snyder and his take, the fact is, it's sort of like if I hire you to do a job, hire you to babysit my cat, and you say, I don't have a cat, but if I did, I hate cats, man. And I think, oh man, you're not gonna be. I like to torture him and do all this kind of cat, but I still let you babysit it. And I get back home and the cat's been mutilated and fed to the dogs. I get home and someone goes,
"You're murdering him."
Hey, didn't you tell me the guy said he hated cats and he was going to mutilate him? Well, yeah, but I didn't think it was serious or anything. That's Hack Snyder. He was told before. He said, these are his words before he got the job. When he got the job in interviews, he said, I always thought Superman was kind of a dork. You know, I never liked him. Anyway, you're perfect with the job.
Listen, I like Zack Snyder's Superman. I like those edgy stories, but again, like it's not. Listen, I love The Watchmen. I love 300. I mean, for Christ's sakes, Loki.
300. No, I love 300.
He kind of messed up Watchmen too. I like the movie in some ways, but it's not doesn't have chemical comedy.
Oh, you didn't like 300? You didn't like 300?
I like 300.
I think 300 is his best movie. I will defend that movie till the end of time.
You didn't like Dawn of the Dead?
No, it was
too good.
Come on, man. Come on. Yeah. Hey, chat. Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead. Man, hey, come on, man.
Dawn of the Dead was good. Army of the Dead could have been better.
Shit blew me away. I couldn't believe they did that. I was like, oh my God, they made a zombie baby. I thought that was pretty cool.
James Gunn wrote the script.
Some of that shit though was
James Gunn wrote it,
yeah. James Gunn wrote the script, man. It's that edgy ass shit. That's young James Gunn too.
If you're talking about Superman like this, though, you got to bring up the fact that is the reason why he is like this is because the failure of this version of Jonathan Kent. Because I have to say, and I will agree with Clobberin on this all day. Jonathan Kent, Kevin Costner, Jonathan Kent sucked the sweat off a dead dog's balls. This is a guy. Right. This is a guy that chastised his son and told his son, you should have let all your classmates die on that bus. The Jonathan Kent in Smallville in the first episode shows more faith, trust, and love in his son and says, I am proud of you, even though you saved this Lex Luthor kid who I absolutely hate his fucking family. You did the right thing because that's what we do. And you were here for a reason. The fucking Kevin Costner, Jonathan Kent's like, well, you should have let them die. You should have let them all die. Don't ever do anything for anybody. You're not here for a reason or purpose. Maybe that's why this version of Superman is kind of like, well, he's got issues and he's got problems. Because it's not until he meets Jor-El that Jor-El's like, no, your cells will soak up the radiation of the sun and you become a Superman. And look, I have a suit for you and everything. Full faith in you, my boy. You can fly. You can go do all this shit. And God, it's got to be confusing. One dad's like, don't do shit for anybody. Be a selfish little prick. The other one's like, go out and save people and be their defender. That's got to be fucking confusing.
Yeah, I mean, I can't argue with that. Yeah, I can't argue with that part. That was when you put it like that. I'm like, damn, Jonathan Kent really was like that in that movie. He was kind of a dick.
He was kind of like a conspiracy kook in that movie.
Like damn, I mean? he was like the complete opposite of Uncle Ben. Like, yeah, with great power comes sit the fuck down and shut up.
Exactly. Yeah. Wow. He said, look, don't save me from this cartoon tornado. Even though you have the powers to make it where no one can see who you are. Let me die. I mean, I got to be fair. I'm going to be fair to Snyder on this one. I probably would have let Kevin Costner get taken in by a tornado.
Oh, shit.
That's so true. He really did. Like, bro, you could have saved me. You could have totally saved me, but don't because powers.
The whole
Oh,
point
that's funny.
in the Donner film was that, you know, when Paul Kent dies of a heart attack, we realize, you talk about writing the character realistically, that's far more realistic if you're gonna use that word, because it is an immediate lesson that no matter how all those things I can do, all those powers, and I couldn't even save him, says he to himself, with Christopher Reeve dubbing over the voiceover the actor Jeff East. Well, now you have to change it to all those things I could do, all those powers, and I wouldn't even save him because he told me not to.
He told
No,
me
he
I would
did.
have looked at Superman and been like, listen, don't save them kids in that bus, but you're gonna save my ass right now.
Yeah. Yeah, he said, so I shouldn't have rescued them? I should have let them die? Maybe. Okay. You're not talking. You're not talking. Maybe. I mean,
that's what Chris Perkins just said.
Whatever
Costner wasn't Pa Kent. He was Jonathan. Hide your powers, let humans die, and save yourself. No wonder tens of thousands of people were killed during his fight with Zod, and he broke Zod's neck. So,
Well,
Snap.
so-
I mean, I was okay.
but he
with
saved
it,
Lois, making the world spin backwards
You know what's so
on
weird
its
about that?
axis.
That stupid.
He did that twice. I never realized. I guess I never watched the end of the Donner cut until recently.
Yeah.
Right.
Of 2. He does it again in 2. They don't arrest Lex. They don't arrest the Kryptonians, the villains. He just destroys the fortress.
That's why I have a problem with the Donner cut. Yeah.
Everybody in it. He kisses Lois, flies off, and spins the world backwards on its axis, reverses time, prevents them from ever leaving the Phantom Zone. And I was like, wow, okay, that's
he basically erased the whole second movie.
Yeah, he erased the whole second
He erased
movie.
it. So, but anyway, that's crazy thinking about that. You know, but you know what? You mentioned how he snapped Zod's neck. You know, Superman always found ways away from doing certain things. But to be honest with you, even Christopher Nolan. But did you know that Christopher Nolan was against that scene? It got overruled. He was the producer. Even Christopher Nolan said, no, Superman doesn't kill him. And then if you want bolstering it, in his Batman movies, in The Dark Knight, he doesn't kill the Joker. And in that terrible Dark Knight Retires movie after that, he presents Cat person, I don't know if she's Catwoman really. Catwoman from killing, he says, we don't kill. Well, but super what she does apparently.
They lifted that though off of an earlier comic book, and that's the one where the Supergirl comes from the other dimension, the one that Lex Luthor created.
Right.
In that dimension, grabs our Superman, brings him back, and he has to fight Zod, Namek, and is it Namek or is it's Fiora, Zod, whatever his name is.
Right.
And he kills him. He has to kill him. They straight up pulled that from that. And then everyone's dead on Earth besides Supergirl. So he's like, okay, come, live on my planet. Come and live in my universe with me, and you can be the new Supergirl. And I remember reading that was before Death of Superman. It wasn't too far, maybe a year before that.
Right. So
that was one of the last comic books, DC books I read before Superman died, and I had to catch up with that because I wasn't.
So that was when Lex Luthor had recloned himself or whatever and had the red hair. Exactly. Yep. Yeah, that was it was like an alien shapeshifter.
Right.
Yeah. Supergirl was an alien shapeshifter. Yep.
Right. And it's funny because when Doomsday showed up, Doomsday punched that Supergirl right in the face, and that motherfucker just it died and turned to like it just
Matrix thing or whatever.
Yeah, it was called the Matrix.
It knocked the skin off of her. Yeah, and
it was like
that alien form, her basic form. So the
Supergirl
we're talking about had to hold her form and look the way she did, because when Luthor created her, she was formless. So she looked like this skilly. It was like a proto form.
Right.
Yeah. So and around that time, I don't know if you're talking about that's the same comic or not, because I wasn't reading it. I only heard it. I know Byrne killed the Phantom Zone villains, and then there was a lot of flack over it in a Byrne issue. I forgot exactly. It may have been that one you're talking about. I don't know for sure, but they got a lot of flack over. So DC went back and retconned it, making where no, it didn't really kill him.
Yeah,
DC said no, we probably shouldn't let that happen.
I think that was the same one, because he was forced to. He didn't have a choice. It was a fight to the death, and I can see that. Okay, I can see that.
Right.
You're on a world where it's just you and Supergirl versus those three villains. There's no one else left. Lex is dead. The Resistance is dead. By
Right.
the time they have this big throwdown, everybody's dead on Earth, but Superman, Supergirl, and them, and they're gonna go off and do it again to another world. So why? I get it. Doesn't mean I like it, but I get it, and so I really think that's what they were trying to. That's what they were trying to copy, and it just with him breaking his neck like that, and it just didn't work. It didn't work, and it wasn't. I don't think it was ever going to work.
Because he could find some other way. Superman's supposed to be smart, and it's one thing if you write it well enough to where it's impossible to avoid, and it happens incidentally. But the way that happened in that movie is just so ridiculous.
Classic remembers better than I do. Superman used kryptonite to kill Zod, Peora, and Jaxer. It was Jaxer. Thank you. Jaxer is also the weird scientist dude in Man of Steel. Yeah. After they wiped out all of humanity on Parallel Earth. Yes.
And so you got that.
Which I honestly think they're gonna touch on this. They're gonna kind of reuse this again in Flashpoint, because if you look at some of those scenes, it's like Earth gets taken out. There's no Superman there to defend it, so the Kryptonians just take out everything. Why they come to Earth looking for Superman, Kal-El, when he never made it there? There was no pod, there was nothing. I guess they come looking for Supergirl. I don't know. I don't know how they're going to do that, but it's still
Supergirl instead of Superman in this one.
Right.
Yeah.
So
it's still going to be. They're only using part of a little snippet of a story from a book that happened 40 fucking years ago.
But I'm going to use that. This is basically Flashpoint instead of being Kal-El. It's Kara, and with the black hair and stuff, of course. And it's going to be one movie, and there's never going to be another one after that.
And see, that's what I don't get. DC's right to the point where Marvel is, and this was the main topic for tonight. DC's right where Marvel is, where it's just about ready to sell off its properties. You're talking about leasing out of properties. This is what Marvel had to do back in the 80s and the 90s. This is why different companies had different rights to everything. You had one company, I think it was CBS or NBC, had the Hulk. Nobody else could do anything with the Hulk besides the comic books. You had X-Men eventually go to Fox. You had Spider-Man on Sony. This is why it took Disney all this time and money to fucking like $80 billion fucking dollars to get all these back together. And now they're gonna have to lease them out again, and they're not gonna have all the rights under one roof. You fought all this time to get Daredevil, Punisher, Luke Cage, all that shit off of Netflix, and now it's going to lease right back out to them again. Come the fuck on.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know, buddy. It's always a mess with these people. It's never anything simple, and they don't know what they're doing.
Mark Damling Tired says, honestly, all the JLA is boring. The big six, with the exception of Batman, are too overpowered.
What?
Disagree.
Even Aquaman? Nah. Help. Wait.
I love the JLA. So I mean, this is a Marvel guy. You're a Marvel bigot.
Yeah, man.
You don't like DC.
Leave Aquaman alone.
Hey, you know what? The funniest thing I heard.
They're all great. Good.
Funniest thing I ever heard about Green Lantern was the fluffy thing, where he's talking about, oh yeah, what power does Green Lantern have? Oh, he has a ring and it gives him power. And he's like, boy, no man that wears a ring on his left finger has any power.
That's pretty good.
Oh shit.
I like
That's
it.
fucked up. I'm sorry.
That's terrible. You're terrible.
Oh my God, they're so misogynist. That's why they have a woman on the panel today.
See, Mark is prejudiced. He loves the X-Men. He's an X-Men guy.
Hey, you know what? X-Men took me away from DC for a while.
Because they have faults and weaknesses. That's to imply that the JLA doesn't. They all do. All this. When you write these characters well, you can make them all have faults and weaknesses. And they have two. I'll give you one fault right away. Chris Claremont and John.
I mean,
oh no, Dean. I know. I know. It's just a funny joke that, yeah. So no worries, Dean. I'm not
Oh,
making
man.
fun of the U.S. Marine Corps.
No, hell no. How do you no?
Even though you're part of the Navy, I'm not making fun of the U.S. Marine Corps. I grew up in a I grew up in a Navy family, so I can say that. We love you, Dean. Oh my God, I don't want to start a war.
Look at that, Mark.
Argue.
Mark, nah, man, we got you.
But no, X-Men totally stole me away from DC for a long time.
Nah.
I've told
Okay.
that story before.
Yeah.
You missed the ring
Really?
comment. So you missed the Green
Aw.
The ring
Lantern.
joke
You
was
missed the
pretty good.
Green Lantern ring comment where, you know, any man that wears a ring on his left hand, he doesn't have any power.
Oof.
So
My doggy, while we were talking about Superman and stuff, my dog's like, "Come on, I got to pee. I got to pee." I'm like, "All right." So rings of power. What?
No,
Oh,
Green Lantern ring.
I've never seen it. I'm
Yeah,
not
you
a
know,
big
Mark.
Lord of the Rings person.
Oh yeah, Green Lantern in this case, but Mark, nah, man, look, Chris Claremont was a problem, but I never was much of an X-Men dude, but they were big, so you know, listen to me. And apparently Loki was too.
apparently I read it wrong because I thought he said USMC. So
Oops.
That's
Oops.
clearly an A.
yeah, oh yeah.
Let's Dex it.
Well, I'm not wearing my glasses either, so I need my glasses. I'm going
Aw.
blind. I am going
Aw.
blind.
I've had glasses since I can remember, so I don't even know what it's like to have good vision without glasses.
I've really good like 2018. It was really good, and then diabetes kicked in, and yeah, it's fun. So,
Aw.
Damn it.
just the last year, I've had to get glasses. So, and then I went to see a doctor, and she was like, "Oh, Mr. Loki, you are a walking diabetes factory. Your blood sugar level is maple syrup." I'm like, "Oh, thank you so very much. It is a miracle of science that you are still walking and talking, that you are alive and not in some diabetic coma somewhere." Oh, well, thank you.
So vampires
much.
pour your blood on their pancakes. Is what you're saying.
Oh yeah.
oh wow.
So you're
That's
telling
fair.
me your doctor's Indian?
She was. She shut her practice down, and I was like, I wonder why she's shutting her practice down. Could it have anything to do with her bedside manner? So I got a new doctor, and she's cool. She's like, no, we're gonna take care of you. I'm sending you to a foot doctor. Don't bitch, Loki. I've always had to wear glasses.
too.
I'm not. I'm just
It's
saying.
like 10 years old, man. I hate
Sometimes
it.
I don't know though. I think it's worse if you've always worn glasses, and then opposed to like you going blind and needing glasses. I think that Loki has a lot worse than we do, to be fair.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then again, I'm
Yes.
kind of lucky because when I was in grade school, I was the short little fat kid. I wouldn't grow. I got like 1.5 feet in a summer, so it was like wow. I got really tall really quick. But for a while there, I was the short little fat kid. Throw glasses on me, I would have got my ass kicked every day. So I'll take the no. I'm not having to wear glasses till now. So is Loki's doctor Indian or Chinese?
Wow.
Oh, dude.
Cancel.
So,
Wow.
So what I
bunch of
missed? What did I
GBCs,
miss?
everything. Oh, we were talking about Superman and Supergirl back in the day. So there was a comic back in the day, but it was about maybe a year more before the death of Superman, where Supergirl shows up and our Supergirl's dead. So the Supergirl that showed up on Earth, she got killed. Another Supergirl shows up and is like, I'm from this alternate universe. I was made by our universe's Lex Luthor, who has long red hair. He's not bald. And I've come here to get you to come back and help me because Zod and Fiora and Jaxer, these Kryptonians have shown up. Yeah. And Alexander Luthor made me to fight him, but I'm not strong enough. Can you help me? Superman goes back. They've killed everyone on Earth. And Superman kills him. He straight up kills him with kryptonite.
Superman kills?
Oh, yeah. He kills
Not
him.
usually.
And they go back.
DC contradicted it later because they were mad about it. They were not happy that they let it go. Good.
Yeah. So it happened. And then DC was like, well, shit, we kind of screwed up. So they undo some of that and they act like they didn't.
They turn out to be alive. Yeah.
Yeah, they turn out to be alive.
Can I just say, My biggest pet peeve, why is everyone so against superheroes killing? Y'all know damn well if you had powers that George next door, whose dog keeps shitting on your lawn, is catching the laser eyes tomorrow. Like, you know it's gonna happen if y'all had superpowers.
Basically, because superheroes they don't have any, they have no judicial power whatsoever. They're helping out basically when they're not saving people from like rescuing them and that type of thing, and they're fighting supervillains. Usually, they're lending a hand to the law who can't quite fight these powerful villains. I'm just talking about the basic concept, the silly concept, by the way, of superheroes in general. So they don't have any kind of legislative authority. So they tend to, some do, of course, kill, as you say. But a guy like Superman made a rule for himself. In the early days of the Golden Age, Superman and Batman both did kill people in those comics. Then at some point, I can't tell you when it was ratified into.
Batman had like a sniper rifle at one point.
Only before he had an origin, though. But anyway, so in those old days, I can't tell you when it was ratified by the editorial staffs at DC or Marvel or what have you. They decided, since a superhero has too much of a super advantage, we're going to say that they're probably going to leave it to the law to deal with the characters that they bring in. And Superman decided, because I'm Superman and my power is so great, I'm not going to kill. He actually made a creed for himself in later comics in the Silver Age, actually Golden and Bronze Age. Superman is not allowed to kill under any circumstances. And other superheroes kind of just went along with it because, hey, vigilantes do that. The Punisher does that. Batman and other characters, they're already working above or outside the law, but they don't want to go that far because, again, who are they to make that decision?
Listen, I'm going to ruin your childhood. Are you ready?
Too late. I didn't have one.
Well, I'm going to ruin everyone's childhood. Okay,
it's already been ruined.
Listen. This is important, okay? Just because you haven't seen Superman kill in the past, he has been killing people for a long time. You cannot tell me that in all those superhero fights, he has not taken down a building and there's not a single person in that building. I guarantee you, off screen, Superman's kill count is high. Okay.
Sophistry. We're
talking
about an actual. It's one thing if, for example, even though he didn't because they're comic books, but let's just say, because he's always rescuing people, by the way. But let's just say a building got knocked over in a superhero fight, not just Superman, anybody, any superhero, and someone got killed. That's not the same thing as him grabbing somebody by the neck and popping their head off. There's a difference. I'm talking about the act of murder as opposed to the accidental death. So that's not the same thing.
I mean, I'm just saying, Superman definitely unintentionally has killed probably a lot more people than people think.
I just don't know.
Did you ever see the movie Mask of the Phantasm, Saggy?
Greatest Batman.
Batman? Yeah, that was a good one.
So Batman Mask of the Phantasm is about this villain that's showing up and it's killing gangsters. It's killing villains. And it looks a lot like Batman. It's got a black and gray cape. It comes out from this huge puff of smoke. People think it's the Bat. Then they see it and they realize up close, so it's not the Bat, it's something else. But the whole town is convinced, all of Gotham is convinced that Batman is killing villains. And Gordon, this is one of me and Clobby's favorite sayings of all time.
Yes.
The Batman doesn't kill. Period.
Batman does not kill. Period. Exactly. And again, it's because they don't have a right. Just because they're a superhero doesn't mean they have a right to. And if they do, the cops got to go after them. The cops give them a lot of leeway because they help them with the supervillains. And by the way, superheroes should be distinguishable from supervillains. If you're killing because you feel like it, you're a villain. You're not a superhero.
Right.
I love how they always painted it like that, though, because it's like, let's be realistic. There's no way you can. Unavoidable death does happen. The Batman movies, the good ones back in the day, Batman straight up did murder mad people on screen. You just didn't see a confirmed body, but there's no way those men did not survive certain.
Oh, and the Tim Burton.
Tim Burton when he did.
Oh yeah.
He murdered people.
And he shouldn't have, but he did. You're right.
Unapologetically too, just because we didn't see a body, guys. He definitely murdered a lot of people.
He set a motherfucker on fire. He set a guy on fire and two. He had the machine gun.
Murdered people in both movies.
Yeah, he did.
No question about it. I just don't have to agree with it. And Batman in the comics doesn't do it.
He did.
Well, in the animated series. Oh yeah, absolutely. Doesn't make it right though, because again, it makes him. Yeah, it was pretty bad. Batman. In fact, by the way, Batman hates guns. There shouldn't even be guns on the Batmobile or the Batwing.
Right.
But Tim Burton is an idiot who admitted, I like Batman, okay, but I actually like the villains more, and he proved it because he didn't understand Batman, even though I like those movies.
Speaking
I
of
like
Batman,
the movies. Go ahead.
Speaking of Batman, real quick, I'm sorry to cut across you because I don't want to lose my point, but like, so I know y'all saw the Flash trailer and you saw Michael Keaton, right?
Right.
Ooh.
Now I don't know because they just say it's Batman, right? But you guys know the Flashpoint story. It was always Thomas Wayne, not Bruce. And I know it sounds stupid because you know it sounds stupid because I'm like, they didn't really say it was Bruce. So like, do you think they're gonna do something stupid like have Michael Keaton come back to play Batman, but instead of him being Bruce Wayne as Thomas?
Possible. It's possible that's Ben Affleck's father.
Yes, because they did not confirm that he's Bruce. They just said he's Batman. We know he was Bruce Wayne as Batman, but the Flashpoint story, it was Thomas Wayne Batman, not Bruce Wayne, because Bruce Wayne was dead in the alternate universe.
I hadn't thought of that, but that would not surprise me.
And wait, hear me out first before you get to your point, because go back and watch that second trailer that they dropped, the TV spot, right? Where you see all the bat suits. One of those bat suits has 2 gun holsters on it. What did Thomas Wayne's Batman have? Guns.
2 pistols.
Yep.
Probably what it is. There you go. That's a good, very well done.
So it's not our Bruce Wayne.
Probably true.
From that's
possibly
shit.
Not.
That is fucking shit. If that's true, with the whole thing with the 2 flashes. Oh my god. You're. That's right. I'm Batman. Oh, they will piss everyone fucking off. People are gonna walk out of there and be like, "Fuck this shit, I'm out."
But that would be something, right? Because I mean, I don't think it is. I think it might be a nod to Thomas Wayne's Batman, because if you look, there is holsters, and people brought up to me, they said, "Well, Saggy, the costume designer guy said it was a grappling hook, but grappling hooks would never. First of all, Batman never needed 2 grappling hooks on his belt like that. No, it was always the one, and it was on his utility belt, not a holster.
It went around to the back of it behind his cape, because that's when Michael Keaton hit that button, it would come around to the front, and he'd pick it off of his belt. Right. It like hooked in magnetically or whatever to his belt, but it hid behind his cape, so you'd never see it. So it was like it would swivel around to the front of his belt. He'd grab it and shoot it. There was never a holster for a fucking grappling gun, and that wouldn't be the first time. If someone out there is going to tell me, I'm sorry, Loki, but this person said it was this, and I'm telling you, I really believe them. What fucking planet have you been living on for the last 10 years where you're going to listen to a director, a writer, or anyone out in Hollywood when they say, "Oh no, I swear this is the way it is," and when they fucking lie to your face?
And mind you, here's the thing. You know how you can tell it's gun holsters. It's not grappling gun. It's not for the grappling guns. First of all, if you ever like known somebody who owns guns and have, those are high up. They're higher up. They're not like too close to the hip. Like they're not too close to the hips. Some of those the gun holsters are up a little higher. So that's for you to cross your arms and grab them from the side, not from down below. It's not grappling hooks. It is definitely guns. And I think that is a nod to Thomas Wayne. So that would be something. I don't know how I'd feel about that. Like, I know you're saying people would walk out, but I'd be like, wouldn't that be crazy if they made Keaton's Batman Thomas Wayne instead of Bruce? I'd be like, what? I'd be like, I mean, at least they're trying to stay true to the Flashpoint story, but that'd be wild.
Mark Dampley Tired apparently agrees with you and says Ezra's Flash did make an appearance in Arrow versus Crisis. Yeah, he talked to the Flash from the CW show.
And I think I think that it'd be a missed opportunity if they didn't bring Grant Gustin into this movie for a cameo, because I think it'd be fair.
Yeah, I heard he does have a cameo.
You've already got 2 Ezras in this, so you might as well do that. You might as well bring that cameo into the movie where he's.
I mean, I guess it'll be when you see Christopher Reeve and Adam West, and you start seeing Linda Carter and all kind of shit. That's when you'll somewhere down the line you'll see Grant Gustin somewhere.
Wait, somebody said they already showed Bruce's parents. That's the problem. But that's the thing, though. You can still have the picture of the family doesn't necessarily mean that they lived. Like,
well, it's
remember-
also an alternate timeline, so
Right.
it doesn't
Bruce
matter
did,
that because it was the guy from The Walking Dead that plays Negan. I can never remember his name. He was the
Jeffrey
dad
Dean
in
Morgan.
Supernatural.
Jeffrey
Thank
Dean
you,
Morgan.
Jeffrey Dean
Yeah,
Morgan
that's
played
right.
played Thomas Wayne in these
Yeah.
movies. That doesn't mean that they're not gonna they can't just have him do it. Yeah, you'll never make that stick. So they'll just go. It's an alternate timeline. Immediately
Right.
done.
Right. And you guys want to hear another theory I have?
Hmm.
This I don't. If it comes true, I'm gonna be so upset with myself because I feel like I would spoil things. But I have another theory. Do you guys want to hear it?
Sure.
Okay. So the yellow Flash, not the yellow Flash, the Ezra Miller
Reverse
that's wearing the yellow jacket wearing Ezra Miller Barry, right? The yellow jacket Barry.
Yeah.
I think that at some point towards the end, the climax, he's going to turn into Dark Flash. And what kind of where I got this theory from is in the trailer, you know, the big scene where you got the two Flashes touching their feet together. The one's got the blue lightning and the other has a regular standard one. So if you notice, if you go to that trailer and you start frame by frame, there's a scene that you catch. You see that Barry Allen, the one that's wearing the black suit, which I believe somebody said it's that they took one of Batman's suits and altered it for that second Flash. But you see a scene where that Flash is attacking the other Flash, and his costume, if you look very closely at the colors, has a hint of red in it. And then when you see the toy leaked of what Dark Flash is, because everybody now knows Dark Flash is going to make an appearance because they leaked the toy. And if you look at the toy and you look at that toy closely from the leak, it has red and black coloring.
Makes sense.
So I'm pretty sure at some point that other Flash is going to become the Dark Flash, because everyone wants Reverse Flash. I want Reverse Flash. I don't know why we're not getting Reverse Flash and why we're getting Dark Flash. Whatever, but like, why would you not have Yellow Flash? Like, what would they like?
Well, it might have something to do with the fact that they had him kill Barry's mom in on the CW show, and they want to have a different look to that. Instead of having Reverse Flash kill his mom, he goes back to try and save his mom, yada yada yada, and obviously it doesn't work out. He can't do what he's trying to do, but he fucks everything up in the process. So
right, but I know Reverse Flash isn't Barry, but like I don't know why they want the Dark Flash. Like, I mean, I guess I get it, but like, oh dude, the Dark Flash looks like shit. I'm just gonna be real. I don't like the way the Dark Flash looks. They made him look like a friggin' Venom symbiote suit. They literally described it like that. Like, why would you change it so dramatically like that?
Oh, Shinotsky points out something. It turns out Zod's mother was also named Martha. Turns out it's really the Marthaverse. Thank you, Shinotsky.
Is everyone named Martha? Why is everyone's mother named Martha?
Well, look at how many DC characters have the initials LL. Lana Lang, Lex Luthor, Lionel Luthor, Lois Lane. Fucking how many LLs are there out there in the DC universe?
Lucy Lane.
Lucy Lane.
Lucy Lawless. I want Lucy Lawless to play Wonder Woman. I don't know why they never made a Wonder Woman with Lucy Lawless. Hello, Xena was literally Xena was Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Why would they not cast Lucy Lawless to ever be Wonder Woman? She should have been Wonder Woman from the start, because like Xena, come on. But whatever. But I don't know. I don't know the future of that of Wonder Woman either, because I know they're coming out with that show, but I think that Gal Gadot's gone. I didn't want her to be, because I liked the first Wonder Woman, but I think she's gone. I think she's gone.
You know what? I as soon as I saw her, I said she's too skinny. Look at that scene in Fast and the Furious where she's in the bathing suit and she goes to get the handprint on her butt cheek.
Yeah.
And it's like, God, she is like stick thin. You cannot tell me this woman who has no ass is going to play Wonder Woman. But then I saw her in Batman versus Superman, and that was my favorite part of the whole fucking movie, was when she showed up. I was like, I mean, that's when I got excited. I got told to shush. My date was like, you will sit down and you will shush. And I was like, fuck that. That's some badass shit. Now we're getting some.
Yeah, I don't know if she. I don't know. I don't think she's sticking around. I don't know about Aquaman because Aquaman 2, and I know that Gunn said that Gunn's leaving the door open for Ezra, Gal Gadot, and Jason Momoa. So that's up for interpretation. Like, I don't know what that even means. Like, does that mean that they're going to continue in their respective roles? Are we going to just recap? Like, what does that mean? Are they going to come back and play other characters? I just don't know what that entails.
Right.
Right? No, I just took you out. Are you kidding me right now? Can you like go somewhere? Go away. What do you? I just took you out. Get a job. Pay the bills. Oh my god, this dog. She's like bothering me. I'm like, what? I just took you out already. Like, what do you want? Get a hobby. I'm streaming.
Talking comic books.
Yeah, we're talking comic books. You're a dog. We're not talking about super pets. Get out of here.
No crypto.
I love crypto. Hey, super pets.
Yeah.
I actually
Hey,
do
Laura
want to
Lamaris.
see super pets.
I didn't watch that.
Yeah.
all
From
that movie,
Aquaman. Yep. Lord
but I'm
of
talking about
mercy.
the,
Oh, I think the Batman squeaky toy was fucking hilarious. Go get Bruce.
Go get him.
Oh,
What do you guys see? We're going to go around the panel before we get out of here. We got about 15 minutes left. Where do you guys see where this is going for DC and for Marvel? Because I mean, I gotta say before we leave,
mm.
Oh, wow.
this is a problem. This I
What
swear
in
to
the
God,
holy hell!
they put a Nebula's head onto what's his name's body, the guy who plays.
Oh yeah. Plays the guy plays Sean Gunn's brother.
Yeah. So this has
Probably,
got to be
whatever.
his body with her head on it. I have no idea what this is here.
It's on the poster because I looked.
Didn't
And then
It's
Nebula
from
get?
the poster.
Well, didn't Nebula get destroyed at some point? It was just her head.
I'm not just her head, but she's been replaced.
But that nebula ceased to exist and was replaced by the other nebula,
Yeah.
right?
Mm.
Or am I completely wrong?
No,
One
there
of
were
them
two
got
nebulas.
fucking killed. There were two
Remember,
nebulas
two
at one
nebulas.
point,
And
but
then
she
they-
didn't have dad body.
I don't
That
know
is
what the hell this
weird.
is.
Yeah, that is weird. I mean, I hope they explain that because that's a dramatic change. I think that maybe they'll explain the body because that seems a little too much of a change for it not to have an explanation.
I don't think that's Karen Gillan.
Yeah, I just I think it's just
Gonna
some
go
way
out on
for
a limb.
I think it's just some way for James Gunn to keep his brother a job, keep him around.
He's in the movie anyway. He's a character.
Yeah,
I'm
he's
just
good.
look like he's playing one more.
Yeah, he's a good character in the movie. So we don't need that.
Take that, male gaze.
Yeah. Doesn't look like I'm gonna go again way out on a limb and say that doesn't look like Karen and from the neck down, but could Nebula's dude. Look, they might do that somehow in the movie.
Oh wow.
Shinosky says Captain Marvel's only worked in porn so far.
Oh, that's true.
Yep.
She looks
I agree.
pregnant. I agree with that, Monkey Jeeves. So
I
take
guess.
that,
Could
man.
be.
So besides that, where do you guys see this going? We'll start off with Saggy since she is our guest this week. First of all, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on here and
Absolutely.
Yeah,
about
yeah.
all
Oh,
this.
no, thank you. Even
You
though I
are-
talk
Oh, man.
a lot.
You are welcome back anytime. Anytime you want to come back, you are more than welcome to come back and hang out with us.
Oh,
Hell
of
yeah,
course, I
man.
appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I haven't laughed that hard in a long fucking time, man. Holy shit.
I have my moments.
Oh my!
There you go.
Well, no,
That,
as far
now
as,
y'all know why I call her hot chocolate.
this is true. But as far as like moving forward, it's hard. Like June 16th is going to, at least for DC, that Flash movie is going to make or break DC.
Yep.
I
was gonna
think
say that.
I think it's going to make it, but the biggest concern I have is what I seen somebody else that I was very critical on, but he made a good point, which is if this movie is as good as everyone says it is, and I believe it is, I do believe that they do have a good movie with the Flash. The issue I have and the concern I have is what are they going to do moving forward? Because just because this movie is fire doesn't mean that the rest of what they're coming out with is. I think that's where I want to see is like this movie Flash is very important because I feel like this movie is going to tell us exactly what we're going to expect as far as the setup for this new DCU for James Gunn. And as for Marvel, I mean, Marvel's like, I don't know, like they killed off all of their star characters, you know, Black Widow's gone, Iron Man's gone, Captain America's gone. Like they don't have really much. Like Doctor Strange was okay, but without the rest of the cast, you know, Wanda's gone. Like they killed off a lot of their main characters for the Avengers. So I don't really know what's gonna happen with Marvel moving forward because like they killed off their characters way too soon, in my opinion. There was way too many other stories they could have told with those characters, and they're just like, nah, we're just gonna recast them into other characters in the Marvel universe. So instead of having Captain America, now we have Captain Falcon. It's, you know, instead of having Iron Man, we're gonna get Iron Heart. And I'm like, what the are you guys doing?
Well, they talked about it. They admitted it. Feige admitted it the other day when I was watching that interview he did that this has been a soft reboot. It's been a soft reboot with more of a female cast because they were getting accused of misogyny, and they wanted to have a more diverse female cast to show that it's not just about the boys. So they did a soft reboot. Even the stuff with Kang is going to culminate in a very Infinity War like story where all of this is the same story. They've just replaced the players, replaced the names, and there's going to be some slight differences, but it's going to come down to another Infinity War like battle, a two-parter. So all they did was a soft reboot of the franchise without telling you, hey, we're starting over. We're just going to change a whole bunch of stuff. We're going to have a female version of Loki. We're going to have a female version of Hawkeye. We're going to have female. We're going to have She-Hulk. We're going to have all this female stuff in here, where we're changing it and diversifying our portfolio, where we won't have the heroes, you know, but essentially we're starting over. We're just doing it a soft way so no one knows we're starting over. Because if we tell you we're starting over from scratch, you're not going to want to have anything to do with it.
I mean, this is what somebody brought up to me. This is what they call over pandering. Like I understand. Listen, there's inclusion and diversity, cool. But now I feel like what they're doing is they're over pandering. They're overdoing it because they feel like, oh well, we got to make up for all the times we didn't have this, and we hear you guys. We want to make up for the lack of representation. Cool. I'm glad you guys finally got on board, but now it's too much. Like pull back a little bit. You want a black superhero? Let's just have like black superheroes that exist in the universe and just bring them to the friggin' franchises. We don't have to keep doing this thing where, okay, Captain America's gone. I get it. Maybe they're going to come back with Secret Wars, like I saw some in the chat say. But again, like replacing Captain America now with Falcon. I love Falcon as the freaking Falcon. I don't want him to be Captain America. Let him stay the Falcon.
Absolutely.
He doesn't. Yeah. I get it. That's a mantle. Like, don't get me wrong. I liked Captain Falcon or Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I thought it was a good show, but I feel like it's like we're building up for Falcon to be Captain America. Why? Why did you kill off Captain America so early, dude? You know?
You're right, though. It's not a mantle. It's not a mantle.
Like Captain America could just be Captain America. Like we don't have to do Captain Falcon. It's like. Why? It's not about him being black or not. Like, even if he was a white person, I wouldn't want Falcon to be Captain America.
Me either. Look, when I first, it's a long time ago, first discovered Captain America, the comic was called Captain America and the Falcon, so I became a fan of both of them. I love them both, and I love Sam Wilson as the Falcon, and he doesn't need to be.
Mark the Infinitely Tired took a shot at you a minute ago, Clubby. He said it's all a reset. This is leading to the new universe. Jim Sterling will have his revenge. And he said, come on, Clubby. That was aimed at.
I wouldn't trust Starlin if I were you.
But yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I think that the weird part is like, okay, you brought in a black superhero. Captain, the Falcon. The Falcon's a black superhero. Cool. So we got to make him Captain America. He can't just stay the Falcon. Okay, well,
Agreed.
Sure. Thank you for pandering to black people who didn't ask you to do it, people. Thank you. Like, this is a black person.
Yeah.
I didn't ask for a black Captain America. No offense. I wouldn't mind an alternate universe version. Cool, whatever. But, like, we just going to make black people that have already established as a superhero. We're just going to turn that person into another superhero because diversity representation. Okay, cool. Thanks, guys. That's totally what I asked you to do. Totally what I asked you to do. Okay, I'm done.
Well said.
Clobberin Times. Where do you see all this going?
All this as in
the what's happening with the MCU, what's happening with DC, the sell-offs, however you want to close it out tonight.
Is anybody's guess? I agree with Saggy on all that there. I think the Flash will. I don't know. The Flash isn't gonna. I'm not so sure it's gonna. Even if it does well, let's say it's okay and it does well. I mean, James Gunn saying it's the greatest movie ever made. He's like, shut up, you're just being a hypester. But it's nearly not something in their plans anyway. What are they going to do? Maybe do some outlier Elseworld types movies. If it does well, that could be it. But as far as the primary new DCU, it's James Gunn's, and he's not going to want that anywhere near his. So maybe that movie does well. They make another one down the road, but it's still, they're all branched off. They're all, it's still discombobulated, the whole DC universe right now. And that's for Marvel. Tomorrow, because I was dumb enough to agree to go on a cool person's channel, but a great channel to review a certain movie that's opening tomorrow.
Are you going to go see that?
That means I have to go see it tomorrow.
I feel for you, brother. I'm not. I don't care. I've already heard it's absolute trash. When Michelle Pfeiffer was banging Kang. Okay, so spoiler. Sorry.
Whoa.
Spoiler. Big spoiler. Michelle Pfeiffer was banging Kang the Conqueror in the micro whatever because she had needs.
I'm gonna go sit through the drivel tomorrow. Please, I just hope it's short. That's all I go for. But please don't be 5 hours like that Wakanda Forever trash. And at least that was horrific enough. No, so let's hope it's short. This movie, a buddy of mine calls it. My buddy J-Man out there, it was great. He calls it. He's already called for months. He's called it now. Wasp makes fun of Ant-Man for 2 hours. That's his title for it, and it probably is. It's either way. It should be. It's probably going to be Ant-Man gets ridiculed for 2 hours, and I hear it's got a lot of unfunny crap. And our boy Polly hated it.
And Luis isn't in it. How do you have not have the guy that saved the universe and undid the snap because of his van? How do you not have him in the movie? I just don't get it.
Yeah.
Did y'all feel a cold breeze come into the chat? Shut up before I put y'all in the sun.
Snowdub is here. What's up, Tuck and Roll, brother? He says, "Oh no, Saggy Melonz is here."
He loves me.
24.
What's up?
Where do you see all this going, brother?
Ooh, well, I'll tell you what. Everything's pointing to the Flash, and to me, I've made so many videos about that movie and Ezra Miller and all kind of other shit that I'm gonna have to see it when it drops on the 16th. Like I'm committed to that one, and I think we pretty much have an idea of what's gonna happen throughout the movie. The one thing that's gonna, I guess, everybody's gonna be left in question is how does it really end? And from what I'm hearing, I've heard so much shit, man. Cameos getting cut. All kind of other things. So basically, we don't know what the end, so that means, if people wondering where James Gunn's DCU is going to fit in after this Flash movie, I think we'll see it at the very end to see where it all, boils down to, or where it all leads to. If that's supposed to be the rebirth of this new thing that we're getting ready to see with this phase 1 shit. So phase 1 part 1, gods and monsters. That's basically what it's going to lead into. And Aquaman is going to be somewhere in the middle of all that. So, you know, that's, I don't know. Everything's a toss up, man. I don't have no faith in that much faith in what Gunn's presenting so far. And I did a video 2 days ago about the writers that they're gonna have, you know, with Tom King and everybody else. I mean, the writing staff's gonna be shit so far. The only person that they have is this dude called Goddard that he wrote that he did Daredevil over at Netflix. Yeah, he's the only redeeming.
Paul Goddard.
First season.
Paul Goddard. Yeah, so he's the only redeeming factor, and then. Yeah, I mean, he's the only guy that's worth a fuck out of the whole team that James Gunn has, and then he also has Christina Hodson, who wrote The Flash, you know, but she also wrote Batgirl.
Didn't one of them write? Tom King's bad enough, but didn't one of them write Birds of Prey or something?
Yeah.
So it's like so you know, I mean, we got all that. And then, you know, so that's what we got to look forward to so far until we see what part 2 of phase 1's looking like. And then over at Marvel, you know, Kevin Feige saying that the Marvels with Captain Marvel, Brie Larson, they said it's going to be on the level of the Avengers. So he came out saying that, and basically saying that Miss Marvel's going to be the one that steals the show. So, to be honest, I'm so done with Marvel right now. And everybody, you know, and they're sitting there trying to pump Captain America and, you know, that New World Order, Captain America 4, and all they keep talking about is Harrison Ford and the Red Hulk and how he's supposed to be the president of the MCU. Yeah, he's supposed to be the president in the MCU. By the time that number 4 rolls around,
recasting for William Hurt as Ross, yes, who passed away, yeah.
So
Thunderbolt Ross, yeah,
the president. So, and then at that point, you know, they say he's, you know, the president's going to be the Red Hulk.
Yeah,
so that's going to be it's interesting how that might work out. So, other than that, you know, as far as everything else, man, I just don't. As far as Marvel goes, there's nothing that I'm looking forward to. I want to see what kind of Red Hulk or what Harrison Ford's going to look like in a Marvel movie. But other than that, I'm not really interested in really watching it like that. I just want to see what you know. I guess I don't even want to see it. I would rather know what happens and just to see how it all plays out. But it's not something that I want to invest my time in because I'm not excited about it. But it's like but you know, they're just throwing in elements that you just wonder, well, how the fuck is Harrison Ford gonna look like turning into the Red Hulk? Like how are they gonna work that?
No, they're gonna work it. They'll have to find a cheap way to work it.
Right. And then, you know, then you got like Secret Invasion. Come to find out what Nick Fury's is not who we thought he was, and all this. So we got a whole conspiracy kind of thing.
Like crap.
Yeah, so so it's like, you know, you see all the shit that Marvel has coming, nothing exciting. James Gunn's just getting started. Nobody's impressed.
I'm excited about this right here. Oh my god, what a dad body. That's one hell of a dad body. You say nothing exciting? I don't know, 24. That's one hell of a dad body right there.
Right.
Guys, we're getting out of here. It's been a long day. We're gonna get out of here really quick. Saggy Melonz, tell everybody where you are and what you do.
I'm on my YouTube channel, Saggy Melonz with a Z. God forgive you if you type it with an S. You will find a dark corner of the YouTubes you never knew existed, and I really am sorry for that because that's not why I chose the name. But if you're into drama and a lot of yelling and screaming, I am your YouTube channel of choice. I do a lot of drama content right now. If you are into the DC drama, that is what I'm currently covering. And I also expose some disgusting YouTubers that exist. So that's what I do. Hi, how are you? My name is Saggy Melonz. I'll be here all week.
Thank you so very much, Saggy. Guys, thank you for being here and hanging out with us. Take care. Be excellent to each other. Always speak, friend, enter. And catch Clobby's show, which is coming up in 29 minutes.
Thank you, buddy.
In 30 minutes, 29 minutes, whatever it is. Guys, take
Good
care.
night,
We'll see
everybody.
you all next week. Good night, everybody.
Peace.
Boy.
These videos are tremendous. Like, comment, and subscribe, and hammer that notification bell.